Hi guys, Midgeplace here, bringing you another Clash Royale video. So today what I'm going to be doing is basically trying to explain to you guys quickly, also with my new microphone filters. I know I haven't really explained that much on YouTube, but I do have new microphone filters now, so you'll hear less buzzing if I'm not talking that much. Obviously I do edit my videos more than my highlights, so you probably won't notice it that much. But basically, I want to quickly try and explain why buildings are so, powerful in the Rage Challenge. Now, obviously, I'm using someone else's gameplay here. Obviously, I won't be. I can prove that to you guys. But yeah, so pretty much, I wanted to explain today why buildings are so overpowered. Now, I have some notes here. I do have some stuff I want to talk about. So basically, if you haven't already heard, the Rage Challenge is a challenge where the whole arena is affected. Pretty self-explanatory. It's just a normal game. Not much has changed besides the 1.35 times troop walking speed and troop hitting speed. So attacking. Not hitting, that's really whatever. But yeah, I don't really want to edit this that much because I don't really want to cut the game out that much. But basically, Elixir is also affected, as Rumham said on Twitter, I believe he confirmed it on. So Elixir is multiplied by 1.35 times. You probably would have already realised that. But the reason why spawners are so overpowered, Elixir is obviously times by 1.35, as I just said, and spawners hit, obviously, they will start to spawn 1.35 times quicker. So, say you have a barb hut, and it's spawning barbarians, I think it's once every 10 seconds every wave, something like that, or once every 8 seconds, I'm not sure exactly what it is. I do have some stats here, but that's for Expo. So, pretty much, it will spawn 1.35 times quicker, so you're getting more value, you're going to be getting more waves of barbarians per hut. You're also going to be able to spam a ton because obviously you're getting more elixir. So not only are you getting more elixir, but you're also getting obviously more value for your buildings. So you're spending 7 elixir for a barb hut, right? You're going to get 1.35 times value for the barb hut because of the barbs that it spawning, or roughly 1.35 times, depends on how many waves extra it spawns. And then obviously that will apply to Goblin Heart. Even Tombstone can be a bit of a problem because that one skeleton, if the barbs are tanking, that one skeleton's going to deal a massive 60 damage. Honestly, it does make a bit of a difference. You do still need to defend literally everything. And this is coming from an Executioner user, just so you know. If you are new to the channel, I use Executioner. I've used it for months. And, well, pretty much since it came out. And seriously, I have been struggling to stop it. Spawner decks in this challenge. I have not beaten a spawner deck yet, or I shouldn't have beaten a spawner deck yet because I won by literally about half a second. So, it was kind of close. I know they would have won obviously after that because double elixir hits, and then you're obviously getting 2.7 times elixir because obviously double 1.35 is 2.7. So, basically, what I'm trying to explain is spawners are too powerful for this mode, and I know they're not going to rebalance it, but I really had hope for this mode. I really did think this was going to be a good mode, but I'm going to explain a bit more about Expo as well. So there's obviously other cards that you would be really, really good with as to using them in this challenge. So I've pretty much got stats for Expo here, because it can deal in Rage, hold on a second, it can deal 5,616 damage. If you say, I think it has 40 seconds of duration. I did look this up the other day. I think it has 40 seconds of duration. So if they do nothing to your Expo, obviously this is not going to happen, and an Expo hits for the entire 40 seconds, it's going to deal 5,616 damage-ish. Now obviously it is going to deal 4,160 without Rage. So obviously it hits every quarter of a second, so you're going to get 4 shots per second. 40 times 4 is 160, just times that by the damage per second, and there you go. Not really that hard maths, but so 4,160, that means basically it can deal another almost 1,500 extra damage for the same price. It's not as if it's costing 1.35 times the normal cost of 6. It is costing 6 elixir, so you're getting more value for this. Now, the reason why, I want to compare this to, say, troops, because you might be thinking, well, hold on, why is, say, a Dark Goblin not as good, or why is a Goblin Barrel just going to do exactly the same thing, or pretty similar? So the reason why is because the towers are going to hit at the same speed. So you're obviously going to have 1.35 times goblins hitting speed, and you're also going to have the towers hitting the goblins at 1.35 times speed. So obviously the 1.35s cancel each other out. So buildings are meta for this mode. They are meta, right? There's no change in that. Even if they do balance changes, it's going to kind of mess up other things. You know, it's probably not going to be the best idea to do separate balancing. It's going to be confusing. I know I do keep up with stats and strats and stuff in this game quite a lot, like kiting and stuff. But that will not make it any easier for me. If there is, say, like different stats for different modes, that would really, really confuse me. So obviously that's not the best idea. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to explain. So things like I was using Dark Goblin as an example of why Dark Goblin or why troops won't be as good earlier, but Dark Goblin is actually kind of good. I do use it in my second account's deck. It's very similar to my main account's deck. It uses Dark Goblin, Valkyrie, and minions instead of Miner, Ewiz, and I can't remember the other one. Not off the top of my head. I think it's Log, something like that. Yeah, so they're really similar decks. They have 5 cards in common, and the Dark Goblin is very, very good in the Rage Challenge, because if it is locking onto the tower and there's no other interactions, then yeah, fair enough. The Dark Goblin is just going to get the normal 4 shots off the tower. It's about 500 damage. It's really good, actually. It's obviously 500 damage. It's 500 damage. That's a fifth of the tower already. So, you know, like 500 damage is nothing to be, you know, looked up or whatever. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like it's not to be ignored. 500 damage is very, very important. It can make a big difference, but obviously, you know, in Rage, there's no difference with, or not much of a difference with the main interactions, like the main card interactions with the tower. But if there's something like a giant or a battle ram, and I actually had this the other day. I did play the Rage Challenge. I got six wins on my main account with my main deck, and it's by battle ram minor poison, just so you know. And on my second account, I got 4 wins, I believe, and that was using Dark Goblin. So I was doing a Dark Goblin battle ram push, and it actually got around 2,000 damage just with the Dark Goblin, because obviously the Rage Challenge is just a more fast-paced game. So if your opponent is, say, lagging or something like that, obviously the towers with the card interactions, they're not going to do much different. But if the opponent is unable to defend the giant quick enough, or not able to think quick enough, you basically need quicker thinking for the Rage Challenge. So you just need decks that are easy to play. So things like spawners. I know I'm really annoying myself in the future, probably. Like, I'm obviously going to look back on this and think, why am I promoting spawner spam? I'm not actually sure how long there is left of this video, so I need to quickly like hurry up. So yeah, pretty much I wanted to let you guys know why you know, spawners are meta, and there's no, you know, stopping that. I tried to use Expo in this challenge. I did actually do a second one. I did one on my main, my mini, and I also did an Expo deck for this challenge in a second attempt, and I actually only got a few wins that time. I can't remember exactly how many. I think I got more with Expo than I did with my normal Battle Ram deck. But obviously, Expo is going to be able to take out towers quicker. Buildings are going to get more value. Normal card interactions don't change, so you might want to take that into account when you're using stuff like, you know, Spear Goblins when they get easy chip damage. They're not going to really be changing much. But if you're obviously using cards like, obviously Spawner Spam, stuff like that, then it is going to make a massive difference. Or even if you're using tanks, it's still going to make a massive difference, but obviously the gameplay just there stopped, so I'm going to have to end off the video there. If you've got any more questions about this, I feel like this has explained everything I wanted to explain. Pretty much, long story short, spawners are meta. Use buildings, definitely use at least one building. And then, well, I would say at least one building that, or maybe Expo or Mortar so it can hit the tower. Obviously, placement times don't change, so obviously 3.25 seconds or 3.5 seconds, however many it is for Expo now. That's obviously not going to be multiplied by 1.35, so there's certain stats you need to take into account that don't change. and some that do. So, you know, you might want to think about that when you're making a deck for this challenge. Maybe something like Hog Freeze would be good, because obviously it's going to take a couple of seconds of reaction time for the opponent to realise, oh look, I'm dead now because of the freeze. So, you know, like, that's obviously going to be really good for a challenge like this. So I've actually seen people winning a lot with Hog Freeze. So anyway, let me know again if there's any comments in the comments, obviously. But yeah, like and like, comment, and peace out.